So more information about the whole clips and the lyrics committee has just come out. So you know we got to check this out. You know what we're doing. How's it going, Yatu Savage community and YouTube? It's your boy J Tom Reactions, and I'm here on a motherfucking hump day on a Wednesday. Y'all. I'm here on a motherfucking Wednesday with another J Tom Reactions. Y'all. You guys know about this whole Pusha T and the lyrics committee, but if you guys don't and you guys live under a rock like I do, don't think that I'm saying that you guys live under a rock, but I'm just saying that I live under a rock. And for everybody that does live under a rock like I do, we're going to go ahead and check this video out. The Ville has this video for us. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to watch it today. All right? But before we do that, for everybody in the back, you know I have to talk to you guys. You know I have to. Yes, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. For everybody in the back that still hasn't become part of the Yatu Savage community, and you guys are sitting there and you guys are thinking, holy shit, this guy is fucking hilarious. He's fucking smart. I'm just playing. I'm not that smart. But you guys are thinking, man, this guy, he's hilarious. Let me go ahead and subscribe to his channel. All you guys have to do is hit that button on the bottom of the video and just subscribe. Hit that button on the bottom of the video so that way you guys can be a part of this wonderful community, the Yatu Savage community. And also hit that noti bell wherever the fuck it is, so that way YouTube can let you know whenever I drop a new video. Hit the like button so more people like yourselves can find the video, and comment down below. Let me know if what you guys think about this, because Pusha T is the one that's dropping this information down. It's not coming from a newspaper. It's not coming from anything else. It's coming from the horse's mouth. It's coming from the lion's mouth. It's coming from the source himself. Let me know if you guys think that this is true. Also, I want to shout out to all the people that have subscribed here in the past couple of days. Malin Diabate, K Gemma, Thanos Ron. Hey, shout out to Thanos Ron. He just made a new channel. Beige Sunshine AM, King Hammer, Renee Bettis, and Annie Fulton. I appreciate you guys for subbing up to the community, and I appreciate you guys for the support. Yeah, let's go ahead and get to the video. I don't want to hold y'all up any longer. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Hold on. Where's that button? Let's go. The Ville, Yatu Savage, you already know. Let's go.
So Pusha T went on a podcast. He had talked to these two gentlemen from the New York Times. They sat down and talked about his album, talked about his experiences. At this point, Pusha T, the clips, specifically Pusha T, has been very vocal about everything that's been going on. And he adds a little bit more context about the situation with Kendrick Lamar, the Chains of Whip verse, it getting shelved or censored, and then leaving Def Jam. He adds more context to that. One thing that I want to point out in this situation here, in this conversation, is that he talks about the lyrics committee. Now, real quick, just to explain what the lyric committee is, it's a part of the company that goes over the music that you have made. Basically, it's supposed to be like a copyright check. And they're supposed to check if there's anything going on, anything wrong that they need to correct. If there's a sample out there, if there's a lyric, they have to check it.
Hey, by the way, go ahead and subscribe to The Ville. The Ville has an amazing channel. The dude does his research. He's a very well researched man, goes and does everything that he needs to do over there in that channel. It's an amazing community as well. I subscribe to his page. I was once a member, but once I get all my shit situated, I'm gonna go ahead and become a member of his channel again. But y'all, go subscribe to his channel. Let's go.
Now, what Pusha T goes into is how he talks about how sometimes they get the lyrics wrong. Now, it's one thing to go over the lyrics and understand what this lyric meant and then saying, hey, you can't use that, you know. But it's the fact that they move the goalpost when they read the lyrics. Sometimes they'll read a lyric and it won't be the exact meaning of what the artist meant. And that's what
Right. And you see that's an issue. The lyric committee, that's an issue because everyone has their own interpretation of what a lyric may mean. So if it's a triple quadruple entendre, you may only get two of the entendres and the other two meanings aren't there. So if you are interpreting it in one way and it may not be the way that the artist intended it to be, your song will never see the light of day. As opposed to if you are an independent artist, you could put whatever the fuck you want out there. That's crazy.
where Pusha T starts coming in and starts explaining how this lyric committee has just been used to mess with him and censor his music. That's how he looks at it at this point, because there was no way that somebody from the lyric committee was going to be able to break down these lyrics better than the person who wrote them. And that was the most craziest part to talk about, or to hear him talk about, was that there was somebody in the company that was supposed to listen to the music and double check it and make sure it was good, and then come up with a meaning themselves than the meaning that he could originally just tell them, because he's the one that wrote the art. He's the one that wrote the song. How are you going to tell them what it means over him? And this is something that he starts talking about right before he talks about the Chains and Whips verse with Kendrick Lamar. Just to put it in perspective, the label, the lyric committee, the people that were censoring Pusha T to begin with, they were being overly sensitive about what Pusha T was creating because they wanted to make sure that he wasn't taking shots or he wasn't doing something offensive. The only thing is they were nitpicking at everything. And if anything was to be said in a way that could have been offensive, they would shelve it. In this video, he explains how when he did the song with Pop Smoke, I believe there was 2 times where they had tried to correct this. And in one time there was lyrics that were said. And then on the other hand, there was the other song that had no lyrics that were offensive. One song, possibly, yeah, it had lyrics that were offensive. On the other side, the other song wasn't offensive. And he explains that the label or the lyric committee had took both of the records as offensive, when realistically only one of them had said something. But this is the problem. Now,
And you see, that is the problem. If that one person in that lyric committee takes it offensive, if that person in that committee interprets the lyric the wrong way, then that song will never see the light of day. You got to think how much music they censored. How much music did they actually not allow to see the light of day? How many jams did we miss out on? Come on.
any song that he makes, they're going to try to censor it. Despite nothing being said, you could at least talk to the artist and ask them, what does this mean? The artist is right there to tell you what the lyrics mean. If anybody could break down the artist to a lyric committee, it's the person who wrote the lyrics. But they're not having that. This is just the way that Pusha T is explaining. For them to censor you, even though you're saying otherwise, they don't have to take your word for it. They'll take the lyric committee's word for it over yours, which is crazy because you wrote the songs.
And you see, now that I'm understanding this whole, this whole entire year, I've been understanding the music industry and how labels work. I've been understanding this even more. I thought I had a big understanding of how the music industry works, and lately all this shit coming out has been blowing my fucking mind. This is fucking crazy. How much music have we missed out on? These past couple of years, how many of these artists that actually had something to say, how many of them were censored?
Despite all of this happening, Pusha T is still working with Def Jam at this time. He is still trying to put this Clips album out. And this is where he starts having the same issues with the lyric committee again, because now they're trying to censor Chains and Whips. And this is where we are today. Now, for what Pusha T is saying, he's saying that everything was good. There were 10 songs in this recorded album before they got to the Chains and Whip verse. As soon as they got to the song Chains and Whips, this is where everything started being at a halt, at a standstill. The label started getting involved and they started talking to the Clips. They started talking to Pusha T. And this is where the censorship, the suppressing starts happening again. But only this time, Pusha T decides to add context. He decides to tell you exactly what they were saying and how he wasn't rocking with what was said to him. Now, at this point, we all know that the Clips' label, Def Jam, and the father company, UMG, had attempted to suppress the song, try to censor the song with the Kendrick Lamar verse, Chains and Whips. We know that up until this point. But the context that he's adding now is that when this started becoming a problem, when the label heard Chains and Whips and they heard the Kendrick Lamar verse, they tried to contact Pusha T, but they didn't contact him through email. They didn't contact him through text messages. They didn't want to leave any written statement. They didn't want to leave anything in writing. Every time that they tried to contact him or anybody associated with him, they would have to call him. They did not want to.
Sounds fishy. If you communicate, if emails are your number one communication, which in the business industry, like in any type of business, emails are your number one communication. You get little phone communication. I would say about 30% phone communication. More emails, because through an email you can talk about and write whatever the fuck you want. And everything is documented. So if that's the way that the lyric committee really works, where you speak through emails, why is it that now you don't want to communicate through email? Why is that? On this one song that has Kendrick Lamar in it, which are both Drake ops. Put all the things together, what is it? What do you get? You put 2 and 2 together, what is it?
Have anything in writing when they were trying to contact Pusha T about this. When they wanted to contact about the Chains and Whips verse regarding Kendrick Lamar, they only wanted to speak on the phone, even going as far as calling him multiple times, over 10 times at one moment. That goes to show you that they didn't want anything in writing that could later on be exposed, screenshotted, shared to the public, and let people know that this is how they're getting down. That's a very telling sign when somebody only wants to speak over the phone because they fear that they might be exposed through text message. But now that they're in contact with the Clips, Pusha T and his team, they're talking to him and they're telling him that there's a specific lyric in the Chains and Whips verse that they feel like needs to be censored, or they feel like it needs to be shelved, or they feel like needs to be addressed. And he's like, well, what is it? And they tell him that it's this part in the verse where Kendrick says trump card. Now, if you don't know the expression of a trump card means an advantage that makes you more likely to succeed than other people, especially something that other people do not know about. Now, Kendrick Lamar says the word trump card in his verse, and this is something that the lyric committee, Def Jam, the label, father company, UMG, they all looked at as something that needs to be censored. This is when they start saying that Kendrick needs to censor his verse. They don't want
I don't even have to say anything. I'm going to just hit this. We all know what you guys thought that it meant. We all know what you guys thought that he meant. It has the word Trump in it. So you guys thought that he was going to talk about the president. You thought that we were going to talk about the orange man. So, since you guys misinterpreted it, you guys didn't want to release Whips and Chains. Or at least that's what you're saying. But we all know what it is. Mr. Red Button wasn't allowing you to release the song. Because apparently he has all the control. He has all the control at Universal, right? Right? My bad. I didn't mean to hit that, but if you guys can, go ahead and subscribe.
To get involved with Trump. But the funny thing is that this has nothing to do with Trump. It says Trump card, but this isn't for Donald Trump. This isn't for Trump, the person. This is just Trump card, the expression, the meaning. But this is very telling. And this goes back to what Pusha T was saying. The lyric committee or the people over there at the label are not even getting the lyrics correct. In fact, in his opinion, he thinks that this was just used as an excuse to just censor the verse without saying the real reason. You don't want two artists that Drake is beefing with on the song, and you're trying to say that this Trump lyric is the reason why you want it censored. But the real reason why you want it censored is because of Pusha T and Kendrick on the same song together. And that is something that you don't want, but you don't want to tell them straight up. But eventually, Pusha T finds out the truth. He knows that that's not the real case. In his mind, he looks at it like they don't want me and Kendrick on the song together, and this is their poor way of trying to get us off the song together. But this is Def Jam just being sneaky, trying to blame a lyric that has nothing to do with anything and trying to say that it means something just so they could get the song censored. But Pusha T, the Clips, they're not slow. They know exactly what's going on. And if anybody could break down
exactly what is going on, we know exactly what's going on. We don't need to speculate or talk about it. We are, though. Mr. Red Button over there. That's his new name. Mr. Red Button, Mr. Labry, Mr. Drakisha, Mr. Aubrey over there, allegedly, is pressing the red button. And the lyric committee, is his red button. This is his way to censor rappers. Right? Allegedly.
Lyrics better than the lyric committee or a label is going to be another artist, especially an artist who's been working on their own album. But anybody in the lyric committee, anybody from the label at Def Jam that read those lyrics when they saw Trump card and thought of Donald Trump, bro, they need to get fired, bro. There is no way that anybody would confuse Trump card for Donald Trump, bro. Those two things.
Again. Oh, man. Y'all seriously thought that Trump card was a shot at the Orange Man? If you guys thought that, we are doomed.
Come on, man. If you're working for a label company and think that that means Donald Trump, bro, you are completely wrong. They know they're wrong. But they're looking for anything, any little thing that they could see or that they could find in the music that could potentially get it censored. So it's the fact that they know that the lyrics are irrelevant to Donald Trump. It's the fact that they want to claim that it is tied to Donald Trump so that way they could get it censored. The label making excuses to censor a song is crazy. And it's no wonder why the Clips had left the label because of this. But this makes it all the more obvious that Pusha T was aware that they were just trying to find anything to prevent this song from coming out. Because I guess Trump card is being said, but I don't think I ever heard the word Trump card in the lyrics in Chains and Whip, at least for the snippet that had recently came out that was previewed with Pharrell and the Clips. I didn't hear the word Trump card. So it might be a part of the verse that comes on later on in the song. But now that we know that that was the angle that Def Jam was trying to run.
Or it could be a snippet later on. Yeah, he said that later on in the song, but it could be a snippet like at the end of Kendrick's verse because we didn't actually hear the whole entire verse. All we heard was maybe 30 seconds of it, 45 seconds of it, or a minute of it. But yeah, Let's continue.
Run with, bro. Now we know for sure they were just trying to grasp at anything, bro. They were grasping at straws here, bro. They weren't really they didn't really have anything to pinpoint that could have
Yeah, they were throwing shit at the wall and trying to see what sticks, so that way both of Drake's ops wouldn't get on a song.
been a diss that they could have read on paper and been like, oh yeah, I didn't like that. Or maybe they just read it and thought that it was all a diss. I know people interpret lyrics differently, but if you have the artist there to interpret it for you, at least Pusha T there. If Kendrick is not there, you at least have Pusha T there, and he could tell you for sure if this was a diss or not. When he was talking about the Pop Smoke situation in this interview, he had said one song was a diss. Yeah, it had some bars in there. The other one, no, but they censored both of them. So he would have been honest and told you, like, yeah, I said that. And it probably would have been the same outcome. He probably would have.
Or like Drake said, yeah, I did that. I did that.
Kept the song up. He probably would have told them no if they censored it. But the fact that they try to point out like a Trump lyric is crazy to me. And I'm sure there's more to it that was said. But as far as right now, this is what he said in this interview before they started getting on to the next topic. But it's just crazy how the label was just trying to pick at anything just to try to censor this verse, try to censor this song. And they ended up leaving from Def Jam and going with Rock Nation, as we know now. But the context that Pusha T added just made me realize they were really just trying to reach at anything, reaching for the stars here. Trump card. We don't want him talking about Trump. Like, what, bro? That is crazy. But y'all tell me how you feel about this and get back to me, man. Y'all tell me how you feel about the context that he's added in regards to them trying to censor this verse, this Chains and Whips verse with Kendrick Lamar, and all of that, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video, man. Peace. Keep it a legend.
Facts. Thank you, Bill, for another good video. What do I think of this? Yeah. I think that Def Jam was just trying to CYA. They were trying to cover their asses. Basically, by not allowing Kendrick Lamar and Pusha T to be on the song. Everybody knows that whenever they get on a song, shit pops off. And they didn't want that on their hands. So that's what I think happened. We could also speculate about, again, like I was saying, Lobry Graham or Mr. Red Button over there. And I think that he was the one that was orchestrating it. That's if we're wearing our tinfoil hats. But right now, I'm not. We could speculate on it. But everything that has been coming out kind of makes me want to go that way. But at the same time, kind of doesn't. But it wouldn't surprise me if that was him, going into the room and slipping them $200 or $300 and saying, hey, by the way, each of the members in that committee, here's $300. Don't allow them to allow this song to get out. Don't do that. It doesn't sound far-fetched. It can happen, right? But I'm not wearing my tinfoil hat today, okay? I'm not doing that. But hey, another great video by The Ville. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to his page, and everybody in the back, y'all can go ahead and subscribe to the page. Go ahead and hit that button on the bottom of the video. And yes, I am talking to everybody in the back. Don't feel left out. Everybody in the back. And I appreciate everybody that has already subscribed. Go ahead and like the video so more people like yourselves could find the video. Comment down below. Let me know, do you think it was Drake that pressed that red button? Do you think that the lyric committee just read that wrong and they were like, you know what? It's cool. We don't want this shit on there because it says Trump card. Do you think they actually meant that? Or do you think what Pusha T is saying has, everything to do with it, and that's why they left Def Jam? Go ahead, leave your thoughts. It's been your boy J Tom Reactions. I am out this bitch. You guys already know. Ya tu sabes. See you later, Ya tu sabes community. See you later, YouTube. Ya tu sabes. It's been your boy J Tom Reactions. I'm out this bitch. Peace.